Clement of Rome, Letter to the Corinthians Alpha, Episode 11. Mestoi te hosias bouleis, en agathe prothumia met eusebus pepoi theseos, exatenente tas cheras humon proston pantocratora theon, hikatewontes auton hileos genesthai, te akontes hemartete. Clement continues in his description of the virtues of the Corinthians. He says, you were mestoi. This is masculine, plural, and nominative. It's a second declension or omicron declension adjective. It means to be full of. It is a synonym, you might say, or the rough equivalent of the Latin plenus. And like plenus, it takes the genitive. You were full of holy, hosias, intention, bouleis. These are both feminine, singular, and genitive. You were full of a holy intention, in agathe prothumia, in a good or a virtuous will, prothumia. And this can also mean zeal, so with a virtuous zeal, together with, met, as he's piling up these prepositional phrases of compliment to the Corinthians, together with a holy or a devout confidence, pepoi theseos. This is the noun pepoi thesis, It's feminine here and singular and genitive, and one can see in it the verb peitho, that's its origin. So when one has been persuaded, then one has confidence. So with all of these things, you were stretching out, exatenete. This is the verb ek teno, and it is here in the imperfect indicative active. The imperfect is built on the first principal part. It has the addition of an augment, thus the epsilon, then the first principal part, thus the tain stem, and finally a secondary ending, ete, the secondary ending of the second plural. You were stretching forward, stretching out. The object of exatenete is tas cheras, feminine, plural, and accusative. You were stretching out hands, namely your hands, humon, here in the masculine plural genitive, to show possession. You were stretching forward your hands, pros. So together with ekteno, we have the prepositional phrase, which takes the accusative, toward the pantocratora, toward the omnipotent, the all, that's panta, kratora, the all-powerful God. Theon pantocratora, these are masculine, singular, and accusative. You did this, hikatewontes. This is a masculine plural and nominative participle. It's a present active participle from the verb hikatewo, and it means to beseech. You did this beseeching him that he be merciful. So beseeching him that he be merciful, hileos. And then there is a conditional which concludes this section. Ti akontes hemartete. If, in fact, unwillingly or without intention, you were sinning, hemartete, in some way, t. So akontes is masculine, plural, nominative, as the subject of hemartete. It's an adjective, and it is based on the adjective hekon, which means willingly, and it has an alpha privative. Akon, then, is unwilling. And, as is often the case, rather than using an adverb to modify the verb, in Greek we use a participle or some adjective in the nominative, because that describes the state of mind of the person performing the action more than the particular way in which it was performed. So if unwillingly, we would say in English, you were sinning in some respect, t. I have been translating this as imperfect, but it's actually aorist. It's built on the third principal part of the very common koine verb hamartano, to miss the mark, to sin, to err.